Good evening. First, may I please thank the Palo Alto Chamber of Commerce and the Palo Alto Weekly for continuing this truly magical tradition of the Tall Tree Awards, celebrating kindness and compassion in our own community, something that we value tremendously. So I really appreciate that this has continued for so many years. By honoring me tonight, you honor the many magical volunteers, enthusiastic supporters, many of which I had a chance to talk to this evening, and I really enjoyed, and the many generous donors who took a leap of faith when they believed in my vision for a new kind of playground. A playground where everyone truly plays together. Incredibly, that in a city as progressive and welcoming and innovative as ours, I would find myself desperately looking to find a playground right for one of my own kids. That was 8 years ago when my daughter Ava was only 5 years old and not able to hold the chains nor have the torso strength to balance in a typical swing. Yet all of those specialists we visited continue to encourage us to take her swinging to develop a sense of balance. You see, most of our children do this regularly and naturally, and they run and they play and they jump. But when you don't have the ability to do that, as we often see children do in a playground, they are completely deprived of the availability and the ability to hit certain milestones, and many of the times it is profoundly challenging and even impossible for them to move forward developmentally. So this was the world that I found myself in about 8 years ago, and it is precisely because Palo Alto is so innovative and welcoming that this wonderful city gave me the green light to create a playground that I envisioned for Ava and the thousands like her that are unable to enjoy today's public parks. So people that have visual impairment, hearing limitations, people with cognitive differences, and our aging population, and incredibly 1 in 45 children today are living with autism, and nobody's designing playgrounds for them, and they do play differently. So at the time, 9-year-old daughter Emma came up with the name Magical Bridge, and from there I knew that the kind of place we envisioned was not to be found. So I found the best and the brightest and the greatest people I could think of, and we created this volunteer team. And please help me recognize some of the wonderful volunteers that really made Magical Bridge a reality, which would never have happened without them. And they're sitting at table 11, including Peter Jensen from the city of Palo Alto, whose tireless efforts made it really happen in a very painless way, and he guided us through the process. Deborah Seyche, Chris Lowe, Melody, Shubat, Emily McQueen, Jill Asher, my husband, of course. Robert was very helpful, and Kimberly Lynn and Joyce. Anyway, so I just have to recognize their wonderful efforts. Okay, I'm not going to take a long time, but I do know that I have a couple more things I wanted to mention. But basically, the playground opened about a year ago, and it was a spectacular opening, and we had a great time. But incredibly, the next day, it was even busier. And what happened after that became a bit of a phenomenon where we continued to see more and more people visiting the park, traveling larger and longer distances to get there. And all of a sudden, our team was receiving hundreds of emails to have help with a playground like Magical Bridge. And while we all thought we would return to our pre-playground designing days, it wasn't long before we realized we had to do something different. So we raised a little bit of seed money in January of this year, and we have now formed a foundation to help other communities bring similar play experiences far beyond Palo Alto. So if any of this intrigues you, I welcome you to see our website. But soon there will be playgrounds like Magical Bridge coming to cities like Redwood City, Lafayette, Saratoga, Hayward, Morgan Hill, and even Mountain View. So we are very busy ladies and gentlemen. And in closing, I really, in a way to honor the playground, I really do invite you to come and visit us, get to know why we designed what we designed and why. Please help spread the awareness about mindful design, and let's not limit ourselves to to the narrow parameters that are being set forth by the ADA, but let's really create spaces and places for everybody that is in our community. And before I welcome the very magical Mr. Peary to the stage, I do want to thank somebody that couldn't be here today, but was really the reason why this magic occurred, and that is my daughter, Ava. So if you ever see her at the playground, just give her a big smile. And in closing, I just wish you a beautiful evening and never stop playing.